this is pretty interesting. A guy I like to follow on Twitter by the name of Michael, he sniffed this out. And I'm going to give him credit where credit is due, and I do find it extremely interesting. And we are talking about players that may have signed with Project B.
Okay. All right, so there is a lot of activity in the WNBA world. This brand new, extremely private Project B League recently started following a few players on social media. Everyone is speculating on what it signifies right away. The fact that Project B doesn't have many followers is absurd. It seemed enormous when Kelsey Mitchell, Jonquel Jones, and Camila Cardoso were added. Is this an indication that they are signing players, or are these just random follows? The WNBA may be in danger if this is the case. I went
over here, and they're only following 11 entities. They're only following 11 on their official Twitter feed. Kelsey Mitchell. I'm not following Kelsey, really? My girl Camila Cardoso. You can see I'm following her. Center, the Chicago Sky, right? Jewel B. Lloyd. Yeah, Jewel.
Michael, a fan who is renowned for recognizing hints like these, is the one who started it all. He saw that Project Bly had added a few players to their list of followers. As he probed further, the figures began to reveal a somewhat bizarre tale. It was little at first, but it soon grew into something much larger.
In case you guys didn't know this, my third favorite player in the entire WNBA is Jonquel Jones. And they are also following Jonquel Jones. Very interesting because they're following Nike Ogumake, who is signed with their league, and Alyssa Thomas, who is signed with their league. We've heard they've already signed other players. We don't know who those other players are. Should be noted, unless I'm going crazy, Camila Cardoso, Jonquel.
The problem is that Project B is quite picky about who they follow. It resembles a top-secret operation. Thus, each new follow is significant. Fans went nuts attempting to verify Michael's announcement. And there they were. Camila Cardoso, Jonquel Jones, and Kelsey Mitchell. These players aren't your typical ones. They are dominant teams in the WNBA. Project B only keeps track of 11 accounts in total. These additions, therefore, seem to be a sign of very serious talks. Although the players aren't speaking and everything is still under wraps, we are aware of how this operates. Social media frequently leaks information long before an official announcement is made. The reality that when a major league follows someone, it usually indicates that discussions are taking place. Fans began dissecting everything as a result. Why these athletes? Why all at once? Why now, too? Especially in light of the WNBA's current struggles with rival leagues and salary disputes. It seems overly prepared.
Particular players, not counting Alyssa Thomas, but some of these players, Jonquel Jones, Kelsey Mitchell, Camila, I've not seen any kind of activism surrounding those players or any.
Really, that list got more obvious the more people looked at it. Project B was using nonverbal communication to convey a message. Reporters began discussing it as well, emphasizing that these guys are elite with amazing stats and great demand across the globe. And here's the thing. When a new league tries to make a big impression, the funds will.
Big. So, as you can imagine, we're going to keep our eyes open. But Kelsey Mitchell, Jonquel Jones are two huge names. Jewel Lloyd, big name. Camila Cardoso, big name, high-profile athlete out of South Carolina.
The crucial question is whether Project B is revealing the first superstars who could jump ship or if this is just a coincidence. The players and the league's reticence is just heightening the mystery. This is going to get extremely interesting, guys.
I think this storyline, watching how this affects Unrivaled, again, I think Unrivaled is doomed. And then how it affects the WNBA is going to get really interesting.
This is where the situation becomes even more bizarre. Fans began paying close attention to every player Project B was watching, and it was hard to overlook the significance of it all. First up is Kelsey Mitchell, a WNBA scoring machine for many years. Any new league would want to start with a talent like her in order to establish legitimacy. The WNBA may not be able to retain its best stars if she signs with Project B. Jonquel Jones comes next, and this is when things started to get scary instead of fascinating. She was formerly an MVP, a leader at the championship level, and a highly esteemed figure in women's basketball. Project B is looking for more than simply fresh potential if she is on their radar. They are looking for seasoned veterans who can attract viewers. Everyone wondered how much Project B had already locked down when they saw her name. Camila Cardoso was the most unexpected. Despite being new to the WNBA, she is already very well known. She is large, vivacious, and well known on social media. Having someone like her would attract a new generation of supporters for Project B, particularly given her widespread popularity in Brazil. The combination of these three names seems far too calculated to be a coincidence. People began questioning whether the athletes had previously signed contracts, or if this was a premeditated move. Everyone has been silent, and speculation has just stoked the flames. When you consider the wider picture, it becomes even more bizarre. Project B does more than just track people at random. Every name has a strategy behind it. Instead of concentrating on just one nation, the league is attempting to position itself as a worldwide option with the goal of crowning a world champion. The players they are tracking make perfect sense in light of that objective. The best American talent is Kelsey Mitchell. Jonquel Jones is well known throughout the world, while Camila Cardoso is a growing celebrity. When combined, they provide expertise, marketability, and global reach. The goal of Project B is to create something more than a basketball league. From the beginning, they aim to be worldwide. They therefore require faces that appeal to a variety of audiences. The strong American anchor is Kelsey. Camila attracts that youthful international fan base, while Jonquel establishes a connection with Caribbean supporters. Every participant fits into this plan to turn Project E into a global force rather than only a local experiment. Fans also noted that these athletes represent various stages of their careers. Kelsey is at the top of her game. Jonquel is an experienced veterinarian. Camila has a bright future despite being a rookie. These three are the cornerstones if Project B desires a robust, varied, and well-rounded lineup. Their inclusion on that list of followers indicates Project B is more than just making rivalry. They are constructing a stable core for sustained supremacy. The reality that a brand new league has already recognized and possibly obtaining this type of. What's blowing everyone away is the lineup mentality. People are beginning to question whether these are early indicators of deals already moving. Additionally, if that's the case, this is only the start. Next, to add to the controversy, a Saudi-owned company supports Project B, entertainment business, which led to indignation. The time this collaboration was declared, worries rippled through social media. A few fans were thrilled about the enormous rewards, but some were concerned concerning the political baggage. Words such as sports washes began to appear everywhere, such as Saudi investments in soccer, golf, and boxing. The responses demonstrate how polarized supporters are even before to the league's debut. Although players have been cautious about their remarks, several acknowledge that the money being given may change their lives. Contracts much beyond the W can be offered by Project B. The prospect of making more in one season than they typically do in 4 is difficult to dismiss for players who play abroad to make ends meet, but it is scrutinized. Fans want to know if a player's reputation would suffer, or if they would be criticized if they joined Project B. That's why so many people were taken aback by the following activities. If athletes of the stature of Jonquel Jones or Camila Cardoso are speaking with Project B, it appears like the dispute is being overtaken by the money. It is made even more evident by Kelsey Mitchell's presence. These players are not on the periphery. They are influential, elite athletes. The financial benefits must outweigh any potential backlash if a Saudi-backed league is being considered. The argument is getting more heated. Some say that players should pursue their future, while others maintain that supporting Project B conveys the incorrect message. Fans worry about how many stars might depart the W with every new player the league adds. When fans discovered that several WNBA players might be switching to Project B, the focus switched to the unrivaled league. This player-only league started out with a lot of buzz and enormous promises, but it quickly found itself in a risky situation. Unrivaled was positioned as a revolutionary substitute with greater control and higher compensation from the outset. However, compared to Project B, it has had a slower debut, an unclear structure, and less funding. People are now wondering if Unrivaled ever had a chance in light of these followers. The largest worry was raised when names like Jonquel Jones, Camila Cardoso, and Kelsey Mitchell were connected to Project B, since these are the players Unrivaled sorely needed. Unrivaled runs the risk of launching without any momentum in the absence of significant personalities. The issue became more apparent as more people compared the colleagues. Huge salaries, global marketing, a worldwide audience, and long-term stability supported by billionaire investors are all provided by Project B. Unrivaled provides creative freedom and control, but it lacks the financial means to prevent gamers from quitting. Many brought out the fact that Project B has already signed confirmed performers like Alyssa Thomas and Anka Agwick. If they additionally get players like Camila or Jonquel, Unrivaled may not only struggle but possibly fail before it even starts. Without elite players, a league cannot compete for sponsorship, viewership, or attention. Project B is positioning itself quietly and deliberately themselves to rule before Unrivaled had a chance to begin. Supporters believe that Unrivaled will soon be eclipsed. The idea that Project B has already persuaded important athletes to join them has increased the urgency of what was formerly thought to be a player-led revolution. If the following are true, Unrivaled may be dealing with its largest issue to yet. An even greater worry surfaced once the discussion moved away from Unrivaled. What does the WNBA stand to gain from this? With new players, marketing, and fan engagement, the league has been gaining pace. Nevertheless, Project B's actions threatened to reverse years of advancements in a single month. The WNBA has long had financial difficulties. Many athletes still play abroad for meager pay in order to support themselves. The danger of a talent drain is real now that Project B is proposing payments that the WNBA cannot match. Let's dissect it. The WNBA is already facing difficulties. Teams are overworked. Travel is an ongoing problem. Even famous athletes are dissatisfied with their lack of promotion due to uneven marketing. Project B provides something that the WNBA just cannot in this situation: instant financial security and worldwide reach. That is particularly potent for athletes who have battled for greater chances. Losing elite athletes like Jonquel Jones or up-and-coming talent such as Camila Cardoso is more than a symbol. TV contracts, marketing, ticket sales, and competitive balance are all impacted. Teams may find it difficult to sustain fan enthusiasm or fill seats if a number of key players depart. Star power is the foundation of the WNBA's recent expansion. Therefore, losing even a small number of players could lead to long-term issues. And here's something else. The WNBA may have to make difficult choices regarding pay, schedule, or even corporate changes if Project B is successful in drawing in enough players. An industry can change due to pressure from a more powerful rival. Players want to know if the WNBA will make a public statement or keep quiet until agreements are finalized. Although the WNBA has long worked with other leagues, this is the first time a rival has confronted them head-on throughout the season. The timing of Project B implies that they are attempting to take advantage of that weakness. Fans and the media are getting ready for one of the greatest sports narratives of the year. Everyone wants to know how many players are on Project B's list, who is signed, and who is close. There is a tense environment as a result of this uncertainty. Every new rumor receives thousands of views. The stakes are higher when there is even the slightest indication of movement. Project B has the potential to change sponsorships, viewership, and perhaps the future of women's basketball worldwide if it can assemble a lineup of well-known celebrities. The most absurd aspect is that social media activity was the catalyst for all of this. After a few names and a few more, fans recognized that something much more significant was taking place. The following few months could be completely different if Project B continues to make thoughtful decisions like this. Now, the question is whether the WNBA is even ready for the upcoming competition. One of the most talked about moments in women's basketball has emerged from what began as a modest series of followers from Project B. Fans can sense that a significant change is imminent since Kelsey Mitchell, John Cole Jones, and Camila Cardoso are now on their radar. The impact is already being seen, regardless of whether these actions hint to finalized agreements or early discussions. The WNBA is unparalleled and even international leagues are preparing for significant transformation. Project B has demonstrated that it is prepared to question the system. These might completely change the sport's future in the upcoming announcements. It has been abundantly evident that this was more than simply a social media moment, even as this follow movement continues to spread online. It marked a significant change in women's basketball that might completely alter the competitive environment. Project B is not taking a little startup league approach to this. Every action they take is indicative of a long-term plan supported by significant financial resources. Observing top players from various teams, nations, and professional phases demonstrates they want a well-balanced league that is ready to draw attention from around the world as soon as it launches. Fans who are paying close attention saw this as the start of a massive power battle between well-established organizations, a daring new competitor, and the WNBA's silence. This simply serves to heighten the drama. There have been no formal declarations, public assurances, or acknowledgments of the web rumors. It raises the question of whether league executives are already aware of possible departures, but choose to hold off until agreements are finalized. After all, the WNBA has been discreetly dealing with foreign leagues for years, but this is the first time a rival has attempted to take them on directly during the domestic season. The timing of Project B implies that they are attempting to take advantage of that particular weakness. In the meantime, fan pages and media sources are preparing for what might be one of the biggest sports narratives of the year. Everyone wants to know which players are close to signing and how many more are on Project B's roster. There is an aura of pure anxiety as a result of this uncertainty. Every new rumor receives thousands of views. New debates are sparked by every suggestion of movement. The stakes are only going to rise as attention grows. Project B has the potential to permanently change viewership if it is able to obtain a lineup of well-known stars, sponsorship agreements, as well as the future of women's basketball worldwide. The most startling aspect is that it all started with basic social media engagement. Fans discovered something much greater was going on behind the scenes after a few names and a few followers. If Project B continues to make thoughtful decisions like these, things might change in the coming months. Now, the question is whether the WNBA is even ready for the level of competition that lies ahead of them. One of the most talked about moments in women's basketball has now completely exploded from what began as a quiet series of followers from Project B. With Camila Cardoso, John Cole Jones, and Kelsey Mitchell, fans are aware that a significant change is imminent. The impact is already being seen, regardless of whether these actions indicate early conversations or confirmed contracts. The WNBA is unparalleled, and even foreign leagues are anticipating significant transformation. Project B has demonstrated its willingness to question the system, and the upcoming announcements have the potential to completely alter the sport's future. It has been abundantly evident that this was more than just a social media event, and that it represented a significant change in women's basketball that may completely alter the competitive environment, even as this follow movement continues to grow online. Project B is not taking a little startup league approach to this. Each and every action they do demonstrates a long-term strategy supported by significant financial power. They want a balanced league that is ready for worldwide attention as soon as they debut, as evidenced by the elite names from various teams, nations, and career stages. Fans who are paying close attention saw this as the start of a massive power battle between well-established organizations, a daring new competitor, and the WNBA's silence. This simply serves to heighten the drama. There have been no formal declarations, public assurances, or acknowledgments of the web rumors. It begs the question of whether league executives are already aware of possible departures, but are opting to hold off until deals are made. Become official. This is the first time a rival has attempted to directly attack the WNBA during the domestic season, despite the league having discreetly dealt with foreign leagues for years. The timing of Project B implies that they are attempting to take advantage of that particular weakness. In the meantime, fan pages and media sources are preparing for what might be one of the biggest sports narratives of the year. Everyone wants to know which players are close to signing and how many more are on Project B's roster. There is an aura of pure anxiety as a result of this uncertainty. Every new rumor receives thousands of views. New debates are sparked by every suggestion of movement. Using the increasing attention, the stakes are only going to rise due to the growing attention. Project B might have a lasting impact on sponsorship deals, viewership, and perhaps the future of women's basketball worldwide if it is successful in assembling a lineup of well-known celebrities. The most startling aspect is that it all started with basic social media engagement. Fans discovered something much greater was going on behind the scenes after a few names and a few followers. If Project B continues to make thoughtful decisions like these, things might change in the coming months. Now, the question is whether the WNBA is even ready for the level of competitiveness that lies ahead.